Hey there everyone, hope you're all doing okay. I thought for this this video I would do the rhythm thing that I use on Straight Talking Woman. This is something I get asked about quite a lot, I suppose. The guitar weekends, people always seem, it's always something that comes up, you know, can you show us that Straight Talking Woman walking bass chord thing you do? And not only the guitar weekends, just in general, people ask me how I do it, why I do it, where it came from, that kind of thing. For those of you that are not familiar with it, I'll just play a bit just so you can get the idea of what I'm talking about. So, something like this. Alright, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'll get a bit closer to the camera for this, so you can see what my hands are doing. And just for reference as well, I've not mentioned this, I normally do. I'm normally tuned to concert pitch. For this I'm not. I'm actually tuned down half a step, because that's how I play it. So we've got a Fender Mexican classic player Strat, which I've been using for all these videos, but like I say, it's tuned to E flat, tuned down half a step for this. And I've also put in some different pickups to try, which were very kindly given to me by Martin Bertel, who is one of our guitar weekenders. He makes pickups over there in Germany, and he calls these Martin's Blues. They are essentially classic kind of vintage Strat style pickups. They're not overwound, and do you know what, I put them in yesterday or the day before, and they really do sound good. So standard wiring, the bottom tone is wired to the bridge, and that tone is wired to that and that, but just, yeah, classic Strat pickups which sound really good, not harsh but nice, a lot of clarity there. Good level coming out of them. So, and I'm plugged into my riff signature amp, which is what I'm using these days. Just straight in, no pedals. So that's the sound that you're hearing. All right, cool. So onto the showing you how to do it. So the main idea behind this groove is we've got a bass line, some chords, and then a rhythmical sort of choppy rhythm upstroke thing. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to come up with the bass line. So I mean, this song I play in A, although it's, you know, I'm down half a step, I'm actually playing in the A position. Right, so if we just look at the bass line first, right, these are all downstrokes with your right hand, okay? So onto the next string. I went slightly wrong there, but you get the idea. So basically the bass line is at okay, and then what you do is you add to that with your upstrokes. So obviously the bass lines are all downstrokes. On your upstroke you're going to dampen the strings here, so you're basically going to lay your whole hand across the strings here, alright, and you're going to get this. Alright, so if I just take this back one level with the bass line, so rather than thinking about the whole bass line all at once, if we just use this finger here, or whichever finger you want, right? It doesn't really matter. Right, on the downstroke you're going to fret the bass note. On the upstroke you're going to dampen everything. Okay. You see on my hand there, you can actually see my whole hand is just resting on the strings, and the only time that my fretting finger actually presses down is when this hand comes down. Watch. Okay. So the next stage is getting that bass line in with these sort of these upstroke chop things. Okay. If I do that up to speed, okay, right, and then we're going to add in some chords. Now the chords that I use, I don't know the proper names of these, but it doesn't really matter. I can just show you where the frets are and stuff. So for the one chord, the A, it's going to be, all right. And what I do is I've got quite, I suppose, quite long fingers. I use my thumb quite a lot. I know some people that doesn't feel comfortable, or they struggle, or you know. You don't have to use a thumb. You can do it like that. That feels really weird for me because I'm not used to doing it. So I use this just for that first root note, and then I go to normal fingers. So. Now, if that's what you use for the one chord, well, that's what I use anyway. For the 4 chord, I just use this 9th shape, which is whatever it's called, I don't know, D9th, and then the same thing for the 5 chord. And the chords that you use, you know, you don't have to use these. You can use, you know, there's that one. You can add the extra note in there on the B string, or you can go and how stretchy your fingers are. You know, you can use any chord there really, as long as it's got that root note in. So for your 1 chord, and also for your 4 chord as well. I won't get too much into that though. You know, pick whichever chords feel comfortable to you, but just make sure you get that on that first. I think it's every 2 bars. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to get the chord in every 2 bars, okay? And every time there's a chord change, you have to put the next chord in. So if we're going to go from the 1 to the 4, 1. Every bar, come on. Up to the 4. Okay, so that's the basic technique of that kind of walking bass thing and getting the chords in. I suppose that the way I think of it is, I think of it almost like a bass player, a drummer, and a guitarist, because you kind of got your bass player keeping the. And your bass line can be as simple as you want, or you can get a bit more complex. But what I would advise when you first try to do this whole, really slowly, because until you've actually got that discipline of like, you need to get all that dampened stuff really, really tight, and the tendency is to go too fast too quick. So I would say when you first start doing it, it literally needs to be as fast as this. And I know that seems really, really slow, but it's important that you get it to sound clean, because otherwise if you've got loads of stuff ringing out when it shouldn't be ringing out, the dampening's not happening when it should be happening, it's just, you've got to get it clean, you've got to get the technique of it right before you speed up, and obviously when you get it up to speed, you can, and trust me, it's taken me, I've been doing this now for quite a long time, a good few, at least 10 years, where you can get some reasonable speed, but you've got to make sure you get all the dampening in the right place so that the whole thing grooves, because otherwise it's just going to sound a little bit messy. So that was far too fast, wasn't it, really? Nobody's going to need to play it that fast, but to get it to kind of sound clean, where it's got that kind of snappy kind of almost like a drummer playing a shuffle, and it's kind of the dynamics of it, where it's got to sound quite kind of bouncy, and it's just going to have that kind of pulse, that rhythm. I was doing it differently there, obviously, but I'm just trying to accentuate that kind of, rather than you need to have that kind of dun, 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 where some notes are more accentuated and other ones are kind of more muted. And a lot of this, I'll do a separate video on this whole left and right hand technique thing, actually, but a lot of it, getting that kind of tight, kind of clean thing happening, a lot of it's about your left and right hands working together, so that when you want notes to be dampened, that your left hand is doing it, and all the dampening here is all coming from my left hand, not my right hand. My right hand is literally just going. So all of the dampening if I take my left hand off, it's all from the left hand that's doing the dampening. So spending time doing it slow, and also I suppose having the patience to do it slowly and with proper, I suppose, I don't know, I suppose just with proper form, because it's easy to kind of skip past and miss those details, but just keeping it kind of tight and controlled. So hopefully that's given you a few ideas to play around with, showing you the technique I use. And again, although there's the basic, I was obviously, and I do put in various different kind of turnarounds, There's lots of different turnarounds. You don't just have to do 1, 4 and 5. You can do this, 6, 2, 5 turnaround, or whatever you call it. There's lots of different ones. There's different chords you can put in. But again, I know I've said this about 5 times on this video now, but do the simple stuff first. Get that nailed and stick with it before you advance onto like putting extra chords in, extra turnarounds, more advanced bass lines. you know, just get that. Okay, so there you go. And just another quick note on these pickups, they really do sound good. I don't know how Martin winds these, but he's definitely done something. He definitely knows what he's doing. I'm not sure how readily available they are, but Martin Bertel, who is the man that winds them, one of our guitar weekenders. Those of you in my Facebook tuition group will know Martin from seeing his name. Yeah, check them out. Actually, I'm not sure how available they are, but I know he's winding them, and he sent me these to try, and they really, really are good. So I'll just give you a quick, I don't know, quick demo. That's the neck pickup, and I've got the guitar backed off here to about 6 or so, and then the in between. Middle. Position 4, I suppose, as it's known. And then the bridge. Just a quick, I'll turn it up to 10, it's going to be quite loud in here. Bridge pickup. Pretty cool. So there you go. Look after yourselves, everyone. Take care, and keep practicing. Send me any more suggestions of videos, stuff that you want covering. That's about right. You can see me now. What do you want to know? Let me know, and I'll tell you everything I can from the comforts of my music cave here. And I'll see you on the next one. All right. Take care. Cheers.